This is the moment a multi-million-pound drug gang dropped off parcels of drugs at their local post office, where they were then distributed around the world by Royal Mail. The gang sent millions of pounds worth of drugs via the dark web by mailing out the orders using the postal network. They amassed huge quantities of Class A, B and C street drugs and prescription medication which they stashed at a storage unit at a Birkenhead business park. The gang was targeted by Merseyside Police's Operation Terminal, with officers raiding the site on October 18th last year following intelligence lines since 2023. Officers found a large quantity of drugs, including cocaine and ecstasy, inside the storage unit. A man arrived at the unit a short time later and gave a false name to officers. He was later identified as Benjamin Crane. Following their arrest, detectives examined CCTV at the storage unit and identified Kylie Collins and Abby Crane, stepsister of Benjamin Crane, as also being present at the unit on a number of occasions. Further inquiries enabled detectives to link activity at the unit to a separate investigation at a local convenience store, where large numbers of parcels were intercepted and identified as containing drugs. This investigation identified Kay Davis attending and posting large quantities of parcels. Davis was arrested in January 2024 and admitted posting parcels on behalf of Benjamin Crane. These arrests confirmed the gang predominantly used pre-postage labels and dropped the orders off at a post office in the local convenience store for mailing out via Royal Mail. Another gang member was Bradley Gray. As part of the police's investigations, officers seized drugs estimated to be worth between £1.4 million and £2.7 million. All 5 of those arrested were charged with conspiracy to supply controlled drugs, and a trial was heard at Liverpool Crown Court in November 2024. The sentencing was adjourned until Friday, January 24th. Benjamin Philip Crane, 35 of Wakefield Drive in Leeso, pleaded guilty prior to trial to 11 counts of conspiracy to supply controlled drugs. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison. Bradley Jean Gray, 43, and also of Wakefield Drive, pleaded guilty on the first day of the trial to 11 counts of conspiracy to supply controlled drugs. He was sentenced to 10.5 years in prison. Abby Crane, 24, and of Upton Road in Moreton, was found guilty after trial of 11 counts of conspiracy to supply controlled drugs. She was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Kylie Collins, 36, of Knutsford Green, Moreton, was found guilty of 11 counts of conspiracy to supply controlled drugs and was sentenced to 6 years in prison. Kay Davis, 64, and of Reeds Avenue East in Leeso, was found guilty of 5 counts of conspiracy to supply controlled drugs and was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison.